Today we're going to be discussing maybe some great news for Trump. Also, we're going to discuss maybe some bad news for Biden. Those two things go hand in hand. Now, one more thing I want to put some brakes on is something that's happening prior to 2024. Something that Trump's doing that I don't necessarily agree with. Now, what am I talking about? Well, today we're going to discuss just that. Let's jump into it. Today's video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. It is a cool, brisk morning back in South Mississippi. I'm so sick of this weather change, but hey, that is South Mississippi in the early spring. You never know if it's winter, you never know if it's summer. Tomorrow it may be rainy and 80 degrees. You just never know. It's funny. So let me know if your temperature's kind of like Mississippi. Hey, if you're new to the Max, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up. That thumbs up helps spread our message across YouTube, and it means the world to me. So I humbly ask, if you like the content, please give us a thumbs up, comment below, give me your thoughts on this video. Now, today we're going to be discussing a little of what just went on this week, some of the reports that we received, and also how some of this is really good news for Trump. Now, first we'll talk about one bad thing: illegal immigration. Now, your president said illegal in the State of the Union. Now he's backtracking that and making sure that he doesn't want to say illegal, even though that's what that is. That's what these people are. They are breaking the law. Democrats are spinning that term to say undocumented or newcomers. Both of those hint towards citizenship. Both of those hint towards voters. Both of those will hint towards working out some kind of way for them to change and manipulate how the people vote. Now, one thing this does, this is very good news for Trump. The more that they, I think, double down on the fact of undocumented or newcomers, and the more they double down on supporting illegal immigration, the more it actually helps African Americans and also legal immigrants that's come here legally support Trump, and that's helping Trump's movement. Another statistic that came out this week that just kills Biden is his jobs numbers. He put out huge jobs numbers. He was tooting his job numbers. Guess what? Of those job numbers, guess who got the most jobs? Illegal immigrants. People who are not actually here legally. So the jobs numbers went up, more people got jobs, but it actually was lackluster for American citizens. Actually, American citizens' unemployment numbers are pandemic worthy, meaning when all the people were losing jobs during the 2020 pandemic, that's what levels American citizens are at. So actually, we have not gained any new good jobs for American citizens. You've gained a lot of part-time work, you've gained a lot of federal jobs, and the biggest part of private jobs done is for illegal immigrants. They're the ones that actually got the influx of jobs. So is that actually what Americans want? So this number actually benefits Trump. If I was Trump, I would be saying this all, yes, Biden did tons of jobs this last quarter. He got jobs done. It just wasn't for American citizens. So with the Democrats doubling down on this illegal immigrants push and trying to make them citizens, I know they're playing the long game, and to be honest with you, it's going to benefit them, because if they get pathways to citizenship for 8 to 10 to 15 million people, you've just basically made it where Democrats are always going to win. So the question is, now we have to change the pendulum. Trump has to really double down on this and make sure that we do not allow this to happen. Now, one good thing is there's been a lot of talks for older justices to retire now, like in the Supreme Court and on the appellate courts, so Biden can appoint new ones, because they're already fearing that Trump could win. Again, another good positive there. Another positive that I want to mention is the fact that Trump is pushing for debates. Also, he is wanting his VP, whoever that is, to debate Kamala. Now, Kamala and your fearless leader Biden both have said they don't know if they're going to debate. They don't know if that's for them. Now, you as an American citizen should see debate, especially when it comes to the presidential election. Now, I know people will say, oh, well, Trump didn't debate in the primaries. Why would he have to? He was winning exponentially. He was already the leader of the party. No matter if we liked DeSantis or liked Vivek or liked someone that's a little bit more centrist, it does not matter. They were always vying for second. Now, in the case of the presidential election, if Biden or Trump was up by 70%, I would probably say the same thing, because it probably wouldn't matter. But you have these numbers, which are almost 50-50. There should be debates. I think it's going to prove that you have two old men, don't get me wrong, but I think it's going to prove who's the sharpest of the two old men, and it's also going to help prepare records, because we've never had a time in history where we had two former presidents fighting over who's going to be the next president, and they both have records to show. And to be honest with you, Trump's record outshines Biden. No matter if you're a Democrat or Republican, no matter if you like Trump or hate Trump or love Biden or hate Biden, either way, the records will show what actually happened. Biden did put a lot of people in work, but it was after a pandemic, and also it's been a lot of part-time work, and it's been a lot of undocumented workers. Oh wait, no, illegal. So they're going to name it as undocumented, but it's illegal immigrants getting jobs. So I think those records will help Trump. Now here's the thing that I'm going to press against, and I want to put the brakes on Republicans and on Trump. All these endorsements start flying now. First of all, we're starting to see all these rhino Republicans now endorse Trump. That's such a cop-out. If you have people like McConnell now coming and saying, we need to support Trump. All these Republicans now that are saying they want to support Trump, it actually, to me, shows how rhino-ish and how they just go with the wind. If they truly supported him, they would have supported him way earlier. Not only that, it's almost a fake and a farcity. Now, this is where I have to push on Trump. When McConnell or when all these, centrist rhino Republicans come out and support you now, please do not vie for them and step up to the plate for them. This is not a quid pro quo. You didn't need them to win the primary, and you sure don't need them to win the national election. Like people like McConnell, that's not who's going to win you your votes. So I see Trump doing this, and I see Kari Lake. I love Kari Lake, but Cornyn came in and supported Kari Lake. Well, Cornyn is trying to vie for the majority leader and trying to get the support of some of the conservatives and the populists of the Republican camp. So he comes in and supports Kari Lake. Well, first of all, Kari Lake should say, I don't want your endorsement. You're from Texas. It doesn't benefit me. Also, you're rhino. You vote really against most of conservatism. You vote for the centrist establishment party. So when we start seeing these endorsements fly, I'm scared of two things. One is the endorsements coming to the conservatives, and the conservatives are so desperate for support that they say, I'm so thankful, and they start bending their narrative and their values, which made them popular, to have establishment people support them. I think this is what Trump did in his first term, that he got the Reince Priebus, he got the Mike Pompeos, he got the John Boltons, he got those kind of people in his camp, and he allowed them to sway what his thoughts were on some of the things that made him popular. So I don't like establishment Republicans throwing their support, quote unquote, behind Trump and behind all these conservative leaders, because ultimately I think they bend a little bit for their support. On the other hand, I don't like Trump and some of these people supporting the establishment just to get the R behind their names. This happened again last time, where Trump supports McConnell and Cornyn and all this, and he came out and supported Wicker this last week. Wicker is a centrist rhino establishment from Mississippi. I didn't like that Trump supported him. I wish Trump would have supported the other guy. So that's what I'm saying. I think these quid pro quos, basically, where the Trump group says, well, we'll support the establishment will support Trump, as long as we all work together in some form or fashion. I'm against that. I'm kind of against that narrative, because to me that we play in the 40s and we get nothing done. Kind of like the first 2 years of Donald Trump's presidency, where he allowed the establishment not to build a fence. He allowed the establishment not to get on a balanced budget. So you have to be very careful that the conservatives who win these elections, they don't win them based on the fact that the establishment is supporting them or they support the establishment. The reason people support them is to get them out of this establishment, to get them away from being the Cornyns, the Wickers, and the McConnells. We want leaders, not followers. For instance, Trump came out for Wicker, like I said, and then he came out for people like Nancy Mace. I'm sorry, Nancy Mace and Wicker and people like that, they're not conservatives. They sway with the wind because they want to win elections. I don't necessarily call them conservatives. This is where I struggle with Republicans in general. They will sway with wherever the vote goes. I want a staunch leader who's willing to stick his foot in the sand and stand strong. I want to find a leader who is willing to get in the water when the water's going one way and he's willing to walk upstream. Now, Trump says he's that guy, and I hope he is. I hope he can be a proven leader that way. That's why I like people like Rand Paul and Thomas Massey. That's why I like them, because they're willing to kind of put themselves out there even when it's not popular. I think Trump is that guy. And right now he will be the one that we support. But I hope he does not get swayed by people like McConnell and Cornyn and some of these ones that are now giving him endorsements. Because to be honest with you, they're all just a bunch of beta males. People like the McConnells and the Lindsey Grahams, these people are not standing up for our core values and Christian conservatism. They're not. So when we say we want their support, or we value their support, or we want to support them, yeah, I hope they do vote for us, but to come in and just act like that's some big thing that we should applaud, like kind of like Cornyn supporting Carrie Lake. Carrie Lake should have never acknowledged it. She should have just walked away from it and said, okay, thanks, and just walked away and not made a big deal about it. That shows that the establishment still has power over even the conservatives or populists, and I think that's where we mess up. Am I wrong here? I think that Trump has the best chance of beating Biden. I think the fact that if Biden does debate, I think that benefits Trump wholeheartedly. I think the more they push and double down on illegal immigration, it helps Trump and helps him pull some of the votes. But I don't want to change the conservative platform to make people come over. It's kind of like the same thing with Scott Presler and Rubin and Elon Musk and Joe Rogan. All those guys are great, but they're not true conservatives. They just are leftists that have been left behind by even more liberal leftists. So here's what I'm saying. Let's, as conservatives, not bend our values and our morals to entice people to become conservative. Why don't we stand up for our principles and values, and if people are willing to support it, great. If all of a sudden people are not, then they're going to keep getting the Biden situation where they have no jobs, they have more illegal immigrants coming in that's ruining their cities, and you're going to be paying more for all the stuff that you buy. Sometimes we have to make a hard bed and sleep in it. And I think if conservatives truly want to make a difference, they swing the pendulum and they make sure they get what they want. Quit negotiating. Quit bending our values, Mike Johnson. Quit acting like, well, I'm willing to support Ukraine if we do the border wall. Well, no, there should be. We've supported Ukraine enough. Why don't we focus on America and not even worry about it? I would say this if I was Mike Johnson. We're going to do a border wall, and we're going to defund everything else that doesn't represent that. If you don't like it, tough luck. Have fun with your constituents. Because what we're going to say is we're going to keep on pushing border policies through, and until you sign one or until you want one, it doesn't matter. Ukraine's not even on the table. Other governments are not even on the table. It's just the border. Nothing gets done. Nothing gets funded until the border gets funded. When we have conservatives stand up like that, I think they will have more principle, and I think more people will be willing to say, you know what? I like that. I like that in people. Now, they may get hate for a while, but when you see a proven leader, you tend to follow a proven leader. When you see someone swaying the wind like the Lindsey Grahams and Roger Wickers and McConnells, I think that's not proven leaders. I think they're just followers. I think ultimately they let us all down. This could be an election of epic proportions. Trump could win wholeheartedly because we have a leader who is failing. We have a leader who's supporting everyone other than Americans, and we may not even see him in a debate. And if we do, it actually will benefit Americans. The best thing that we can do is give people like Pelosi, give people like Biden, give people like Schumer, give people like Kamala the mic more. I actually want them to talk, because when you try to justify some of the policies they have, when liberals try to justify who they are and what they believe, it actually makes most Americans say, I just can't support that. So sometimes it's not about what the Republicans say or do. I think they need to stand on core principles and values and morals. Stand on their platform that made them who they are. And I think you need to give the mic to the leftists, to the liberals, because the more they speak, the more they actually look foolish and not wise. Give me your thoughts. I hope you have a phenomenal Sunday. I hope that you are bringing your family or taking your family to church. That matters more than anything. And the only way we seek real wisdom is through spiritual wisdom, and that's through a good church learning about Jesus Christ. Guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.